For over 2 decades, she ruled daytime television with an iron gavel and razor-sharp wit. Judge Judy didn't just preside over a courtroom, she built an empire. But just when millions thought they'd seen the last of her, she disappeared from the spotlight, or so it seemed. The truth? She never stopped. She evolved. What Judge Judy has created in her next chapter isn't just a comeback, it's a reinvention so bold, it's rewriting the rules of courtroom TV all over again. In February 1993, a moment of clarity struck Judy Sheindlin, a moment that would unknowingly launch her into television history. But long before she became the fierce and iconic face of Judge Judy, her journey began in a world far removed from the spotlight. After passing the New York State Bar exam in 1965, Judy entered the high-powered corporate world as a lawyer for a cosmetics company. Yet beneath the surface of that success, something felt wrong. The work was hollow, and the passion she craved was missing. 2 years in, she walked away, not just from her job, but from an entire lifestyle that didn't reflect who she truly was. Devoting herself fully to her children, Jamie and Adam, Judy embraced motherhood with the same intensity she once brought to the courtroom. But by 1972, the fire within her reignited. She knew she needed more, not just a job, but a purpose. And this time, she was determined to find a path that delivered real meaning and real justice. What came next would shape one of the most extraordinary legal careers ever witnessed on television. It was a tip from a friend that changed everything. Judy heard about an opening as a prosecutor in New York's family court system, and without hesitation, she applied. Her commanding presence and razor-sharp mind didn't just impress, they left a mark. She quickly rose through the ranks, and by 1982, New York Mayor Ed Koch appointed her as a criminal court judge. Just 4 years later, she was promoted again, this time becoming the supervising judge of Manhattan's Family Court Division. Her no-nonsense approach, often labeled harsh by critics, was, in her eyes, simply justice served straight. And it was that unflinching style that made her unforgettable. Word spread, and soon, her story caught the attention of Heidi Getlin, who urged her husband, journalist Josh Getlin of the Los Angeles Times, to write about her. That article lit the spark. Describing Judy as a fearless reformer of a broken system, the piece captured the eye of Kay Switzer and Sandy Spreckman of Rebel Entertainment. They brought her to CBS, and when she appeared on a 60-minute segment, America was instantly hooked. Judge Judy wasn't just a judge anymore, she was a phenomenon in the making, with millions about to tune in for her signature brand of courtroom fire. With her name now buzzing across the nation, Judy realized it was time to seize the moment. In 1996, she released her first book with a title as bold as her courtroom persona, Don't Pee on My Leg and Tell Me It's Raining. That same year, she officially stepped down from her role as a family court judge, leaving behind a staggering legacy of over 20,000 cases heard. But behind that resignation was more than just retirement, there was a strategy. Her appearance on CBS's 60 Minutes hadn't just captured attention, it created demand. Viewers wanted more of Judge Judy, and the networks took notice. Rebel Entertainment, sensing a golden opportunity, quickly developed a courtroom reality concept inspired by the success of The People's Court, but this time, starring the tough-as-nails judge who had captured America's imagination. CBS loved the pitch and came calling. Judy agreed, and the show that would bear her name was born. Yet, despite the fanfare and high expectations, Judy wasn't entirely sold on the project. At least not yet. The concept felt unfamiliar, and the transition from real courtroom authority to television personality didn't sit naturally with her. But what she didn't know was that this show was about to redefine not only her career, but the entire genre of courtroom television forever. Her babe and she didn't get along. It was someone else she wanted. But who? Judy picked up the phone because she thought of someone. Hawkins Bird read a news story about Judy's book in 1995 and really liked it. He wrote her a message and told her he would put on his uniform again for her if she needed one. He already knew what he was going to say when his phone rang after she was done talking. That's how Judge Judy came to be. She changed the way court shows were shown on TV. Judy and Bird had a lot of chemistry. He was the strict one who wasn't interested in the case personally. When the lawyers wanted to get physical, he kept things in order, and the crowd loved his steady presence. Fans always looked forward to hearing him say, "Order all rise," before each case began. With chemistry like that, Judge Judy wasn't just the most watched court show. It was one of the most well-known shows ever. The way things went between Bird and Judy is sad, but we'll talk about that another time. 9 to 10 million people watched Judge Judy every day. At times, it even did better than the Oprah Winfrey Show in terms of viewers. During some time, the show had the best ratings of all daytime TV shows. How did it become the most watched show? That will be coming up soon. As the show went on, more and more people watched it. Eventually, Americans trusted Judge Judy more than all of the sitting Supreme Court judges. People didn't just see Judy as a normal judge, though. They thought she was one of the most important people in pop culture history. When shows wanted to get people's attention, they always talked about Judge Judy. Even though a lot of people liked the show, it still wasn't getting any daytime Emmys. But Judy was still getting awards and medals from a lot of different places. In February 2006, Judy was given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In October 2012, she was admitted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. Award after award kept coming her way. In April 2013, the vice president of the UCD Law Society gave her an award. Judy wasn't happy, though. She wished that her show would win something. Even though she was scared, she had to tell herself that the award-winning shows had stopped or been cancelled. But even though she didn't win, Judge Judy still had a lot of viewers and there was no end in sight. In 2013, though, something big did happen. Judge Judy finally got its first Emmy after being nominated 15 times. This led to a lot more awards for the show. It won the Emmys again in 2016 and 2017. The awards kept coming for Judy. In 2014, at the Heroes of Hollywood event, she got the Mary Pickford Award from the Hollywood Chamber Community Foundation. Judy may be best known for the Guinness World Records she won on September 14, 2015, for being the longest-serving judge or arbitrator in the history of courtroom-themed TV shows and for having the longest-running courtroom show. Besides the awards she won, Judge Judy made a lot of money from the show. It made the news that she made so much money. She made about $25 million a year in early 2005. Her net worth went up to $95 million, making her the 13th richest woman in entertainment on Forbes' list of the 20 richest women in entertainment. Even though not everyone liked how rich she was, some thought it was wrong that she made so much money when judges who ran the day-to-day court business were making a lot less. This wasn't the only thing people said bad about Judge Judy, there will be more of those later. Judy was tired, even though she was rich, but she liked what she was doing and how she could hold an audience's attention. That's why she loved what she was doing even more when the studio chose to raise her pay to $45 million a year. But there was something different about this rise. People liked the show even more, and they liked how Judy made them feel like they were seeing something in real life. The audience wanted people who were in court to get justice quickly, without having to deal with technicalities, wait for procedures, deal with lawyers, or go through long trials. Fans thought she was very smart and called her a human lie detector, because she had spent so many years in family court. For them, Judy was a real hero of justice who killed bad people with the power of her words. But not everyone thought this way. Many people like how fair and patient she was in her early Judge Judy shows, but some fans thought she wasn't as good of a judge as most people think she is. They have even asked if she could be taken off the bar. They said she was talking over lawyers, making assumptions about cases before they were heard, or being biased against certain groups of people. These critics say that Judy gets rude and dismissive whenever she has to deal with people who are hurting and are on public assistance or who make low wages. But a lot of people didn't know that Judge Judy was having trouble. It seemed like Judge got meaner as the seasons went on. She lost any patience she had for lawsuits. Everyone who worked on the show made money, which is why Judy didn't take as many breaks as she should have. She couldn't even take a break. Lawyers were paid to be on the show. How much time the lawyers spent on camera affected how much money they got, with $500 being the most they could get and $100 being the least. Some people who were sued even got about $250. This fee is after the show gave them a place to stay in Hollywood and paid for most of their costs while they were shooting. People who are being tried don't have to pay any fees, even when Judge Judy gives them. That's what the show does for them. A lot of lawyers are said to come on the show and make up cases to get paid. This is the reason why some Judge Judy foes say the show adds drama instead of realness. As more and more clients came in, Judy couldn't rest. And in 2010, she thought about leaving her job. The deal she had, though, was set to end in 2014. She said she would quit when her contract was up. Something terrible did happen, though, a long time before that time. When Judy got to work on March 30, 2011, everything seemed fine, except that she was completely worn out. Even though Judy thought her day was fine, it wasn't. While they were still filming, the bailiff called a case. Judy was listening to the litigants, but nothing else was going on. It all turned black. Judy had passed out. She was taken to the hospital right away. Scientists did tests on her and found that she had a small stroke. Judy didn't give up, though. Instead, her contract was extended, she got a pay raise, and that same year she was named the highest-paid TV star. She was having so much fun that in 2014 she even got her own show, which she called Hot Bench. She had no idea that this spin-off would make things very difficult for her. Judy kept doing her brand of justice, and in 2017 she signed a new deal that kept her working until 2021. The extension of her deal made her $147 million before taxes. It also caused other problems, which we'll talk about soon. Judy forgot all about retiring after getting a raise in pay. She said she would only leave when people stopped watching her show. She was still excited about her work and having a good time, but she had a thought. She didn't tell anyone about it yet, though, and got to work on how to make her idea come true. Judy kept being Judge Judy while she worked on that idea. And in March 2020, she told her fans what they all feared to hear. She said that the show would end on its 25th season anniversary while she was on the Ellen DeGeneres show. But her last days on the show weren't the way she would have liked to say goodbye. In 2016, Rebel Entertainment Partners Incorporated and its president, Richard Lawrence, sued CBS Television Distribution for a lot of money. Someone from his business, K. Switzerman, introduced Judy to CBS, so he and his company thought CBS was trying to cheat them out of the money they made from the show. Rebel said Judy getting too much money from CBS was the reason they couldn't pay them. They even said that the show wasn't making as much money as CBS was making it look like it was. Judy got caught up in all of this court activity. And the woman who proved others right were said to have stolen from those who helped her. People said that Judy and CBS didn't tell Rebel about other spin-offs because they didn't want to split the income with Rebel. Judy wasn't ready to be walked over after years of being a tough lawyer and a tougher judge. She fought back against the accusations. She said Richard wasn't happy with making more than $17 million from her show because he was too greedy. She even said he was selfish because he never got in touch with her or asked her about anything after they met before the show started. She said the amount CBS paid her was fair because they got a lot of value from her. Did she really add that much value to CBS? The court agreed with her, and in 2018 it said Judy wasn't getting paid too much and that CBS was lucky to have her. But Judy didn't get away with everything. The judge said that she and CBS should have told Rebel about any spin-offs. Just when you thought things were calm, they got worse. Because there were going to be a lot more turns, just like on Judge Judy. Rebel Entertainment and Richard were not happy with the court's decision. They tried to appeal, but CBS got tired of all the court drama. They had been showing court cases about other people for years and were ready to move on to their own. In 2020, they went to Rebel Entertainment and made a deal with them. Rebel thought that they had CBS where they wanted them, so they pushed for another case. They were now charged with the same crime as Judy. But she was done. Rebel tried to make a deal with her, but she said no. Instead, she sued them for $22 million and said they were doing bad business. The fight began, but Judy had a problem. So that she could have a case, the court told her to also sue CBS. Judy had to make a choice. She could either work hard to get the money she wanted or stay true to CBS. She stuck to her friends and lost her case. It didn't bother her. Another court in California agreed with the first court that CBS did not break any agreements with Rebel. The court said that CBS was giving Rebel the amount that was agreed upon in their contract and in the way that was agreed upon in the contract. However, it turned out that Judy herself began pushing for an growth in her agreement each 3 years. So, she desired more work in spite of feeling overwhelmed sooner or later. Now, she could revel in her victory, however it did not final. There was some other lawsuit she needed to battle with, and this time, old buddies turned to enemies. Okay. Switzer and Sandy Spreeman's trustee, Jay Robinson, sued Judy, CBS Business Enterprise, CBS Studios, and Big Ticket TV. They claimed that as former personnel of Insurrection Entertainment had been owed royalties for discovering Judy. They stated without that discovery and subsequent advent to CBS, there wouldn't be any Choose Judy. It would not be the first time the two would report subjects like this, and Judy wasn't bothered. She defined the case as heritage noise and it became. The court docket failed to find any merit in it and threw it out in 2021. Those have been no longer the handiest court cases that Judy changed into involved in. In March 2013, Patrice Jones, the spouse of Randy Duff, the government manufacturer of Choose Judy, sued Judy. She accused Judy of purchasing precious cutlery and fine china she owned via conspiring along with her husband. It changed into becoming a messy affair, and Judy returned the cutlery to Randy Dowett, who finally gave them back to his spouse. Judy became still concerned in a couple of more lawsuits. And another that stands proud is the one in March 2014. So, a legal professional named John Heyman used Judge Judy's photo in multiple ads. A producer of the show observed and straightaway contacted the attorney that the usage of Judy's photo wasn't accredited. However, the legal professional didn't pay attention and persisted to release extra advertisements. Judy didn't like this, so she sued. She accused Heyman and his law company of the use of her image in television advertisements without her permission and giving the misconception that Choose Judy had, in my view, advocated Heyman's felony practice. Heyman, but, wasn't backing down. He additionally counter-sued and claimed Judy had defamed him and his company. In keeping with him, local TV stations had requested him to participate in promos to assist sell Decide Judy's show, and he without a doubt went alongside. But nobody turned into shopping for that. And on account that he was going to lose. Heyman approached Judy for a deal, he donated to her charity and Judy withdrew the fit. Seems like Heyman forgot how hard Judy might be. It is her longevity that led her to wherein she is now. After Judge Judy stopped airing, Judy wasn't about to go into retirement. What could she do with all that time? She had grandchildren who have been older now, and as opposed to retiring to spend time with them, she created something with them. Earlier than Judge Judy ended, Judy had a plan. She wanted to create a brand new courtroom display, a spin-off from Judge Judy that could cross generations and be relatable to the newer generations. She created Judy Justice. To try this, she needed the help of a person more youthful and decided to work with her granddaughter. But, in seeking to enchantment to a more modern target market, she decided now not to do the new show with Beef Chicken. She told Fowl that she couldn't manage to pay his revenue. This surprised Bird, who notioned that being a long-time presence, Judy must have requested him first earlier than making the choice for him. Bird became hurt, but commonplace that it was time to move on. Besides that, enthusiasts stated no. It wouldn't be the primary time Judy could do something like this to Hen. She in no way as soon as treated him like a friend and saved him at fingers duration whilst the show wasn't airing. Chook did not mind this, however at some point of the primary Emmy Award, the display won. He felt unhappy. He and Judy didn't even take a seat inside the equal row. He sat 20 rows behind him. And while it was time to give the award, Judy gave permission to another individual to offer the award to her. Fanatics noticed this and they were not prepared to permit her to get away with that type of attitude once more. While the new display Judy Justice started and enthusiasts noticed it wasn't their preferred man acting as bailiff, they criticized Judy for what she did. Then the actual reason emerged. Judy failed to allow Fowl join her on the brand new display due to the fact she desired someone who showed attraction to the newer technology. In doing that, she almost alienated her core base. Realizing she had made a mistake, Judy without delay brought Chicken Lower back, however with a twist. She provided him the role of the bailiff in another spin-off show, Tribunal Justice. So, wherein is Judge Judy now? She has come to be Judy Justice and is even bigger than earlier then.